In the dazzling yet unforgiving world of Japanese entertainment, performers would emerge from dressing rooms utterly transformed, staring into mirrors as if meeting strangers far more radiant than themselves. They would gasp at the delicate ribbons, the perfectly placed sparkles, the impossibly cute motifs that seemed drawn from dreams no ordinary stylist could access. "There's no way anyone else could do this," they'd whisper in awe, eyes shining. Crowds of hopeful idols and actresses would cluster around the door, calling out in sweet, pleading voices, "Atsuma! Me next, please! Atsuma!" Yet, in that same glittering universe, one boy toiled silently in the shadows, accepting every impossible request with a quiet nod and a determined smile. Sakagawa Atsumu, 18 years old, small-framed, perpetually sleep-deprived, had only one hidden wish: to live an ordinary youth like everyone else. Atsumu had 7 older sisters, each a top-tier celebrity dominating her corner of Japan's entertainment industry. From birth, his designated role had been support, a one-boy backstage army for the entire Amagasaki family empire. On the morning of his 18th birthday, his mother, Amana, sent a single message: family dinner tonight to celebrate. He arrived home expecting warmth, perhaps even a rare smile. Instead, he stepped into a pitch-black dining hall lit only by candles, a long table stretching like a funeral bier, and at its center a cake decorated with a grinning skull. Amana's lips curved into a smile that held no warmth at all. "It's time to celebrate." Atsumu stood frozen at the foot of the table, surrounded by his 7 sisters. His mother spoke with chilling finality. "From this day forward, you are no longer part of this family." The words struck like physical blows. He couldn't breathe, couldn't think. Amana tilted her head. "Did you not understand me?" He opened his mouth, but only a broken stammer emerged. What do you mean I'm not part of the family? This has to be some kind of joke, right?" His sisters stared back, faces carved from ice. Even his twin sister Mitsuki, the idol he had raised schedules around, the one whose hair he had brushed every morning since they were 4, looked at him as if he were a stranger. Mitsuki shattered the last of his hope. "You useless piece of trash." Third sister Mika, the model, flicked her hair with theatrical disdain. "I still can't believe we're related." Seventh sister Yuichiro, the YouTuber, hugged her teddy bear tighter. "If this were a prank, no one would watch it. It's too pathetic." Second sister Futaba, ever cheerful, clapped her hands. "Exactly! It's way funnier because it isn't a prank." Eldest sister Io, the actress, delivered her verdict with aristocratic contempt. "A foolish half-breed like you has no place in an elite household like ours." Fourth sister Shiki, the voice actress, simply shrieked with laughter. Only sixth sister Nana, the singer, remained silent. Amana raised a hand, and the laughter stopped. "We're completely serious." Atsumu's knees nearly buckled. His voice cracked. "You're really kicking me out?" He looked from face to face, searching desperately for a single flicker of hesitation. There was none. Tears spilled over as the words tore out of him. "I know you all hate me, but I did my best. I really did my best for all of you. You're the only family I have. Please don't throw me away. Please don't break our bond." Amana did not move. Shiki laughed again. Mitsuki rolled her eyes. "You idiot. Begging won't change anything." She stepped closer, voice dripping venom. "We never considered you family. Not even once." The floor seemed to drop away beneath him. How can you say that? We've lived together our whole lives." Amana finally spoke again, calm and clinical. "We only kept you for one reason, to fulfill the condition in your grandmother's will. We had to raise you until you were 18 in order to receive the inheritance. That's all. It was for money. There was never any love." She smiled, genuine relief lighting her features. "You were a useless failure who never met expectations. You were nothing but a burden. And now, at long last, our long ordeal is over. The day specified in the contract is today, your 18th birthday." She gestured grandly to the skull cake. "Happy birthday. And goodbye forever." Atsumu stood there, reflected in the black icing of that grotesque cake, every childish hope he had nursed for 18 years crumbling into ash. He had truly believed that if he just worked hard enough, supported them enough, one day they might accept him. One day they might call him brother. That day would never come. They ordered him to leave his phone and every work device behind, no leaks allowed. He placed the phone on the table without a word. Futaba cheered. Mika sighed that she'd been waiting for this day forever. Matsuki snarled. Get lost already? Yuichiro muttered. Never come back. Still, even then, Atsumu forced a trembling smile through his tears. Thank you, for everything. Memories flashed and burned away behind his eyes as he picked up the single suitcase they allowed him. He took one last look at the grand mansion that had never been a home, whispered goodbye to the boy he used to be, and walked out into the night. On his 18th birthday, Sakagawa Atsumu lost his family, his home, and every yen to his name. But at that moment, he could never have imagined the encounters waiting just ahead, encounters that would change his life completely. This is the story of a boy whose only talent was supporting others, and how he finally came to enjoy the ordinary youth he had always dreamed of. Days later, in a tiny, bare dormitory room that smelled faintly of instant ramen and fresh paint, Atsumu sat on the edge of his futon and cried quietly. The simple wish he had carried for years, to live like a normal teenager, now felt like the cruelest joke of all. In the chairman's office of Yumekoshi Academy, Sakuya Ashiya looked across her desk at the small boy with exhausted eyes. Is everything you just told me true? Atsumu gave a sheepish nod. I'd like to withdraw from school as of today. A fierce voice cut in from the side. I won't accept that. Ashiya Asuka, the center and leader of Japan's undisputed top idol group, stood with fists clenched, beautiful face flushed with outrage. Atsumu managed a weary laugh. Thank you for worrying about me, Ashiya-san. It's Asuka. Call me Asuka. He remembered her, of course. They had crossed paths several times backstage. She was the girl whose smile could stop hearts, whose stage presence commanded stadiums, whose beauty was the standard every other idol was measured against. Asuka continued heatedly. Even if you're fine with it, I'm not. I can't just stand by and let this happen. Chairman Sakuya sighed fondly at her daughter's passion, then turned back to Atsumu. My daughter is making a scene, but I agree this is sudden. There's no need for you to quit. Is there another reason? Atsumu looked away, struggling for words. Finally he mumbled. There's no real reason. Asuka grabbed his shoulders. Are you messing with me right now? He winced, pain flickering across his face. I just feel guilty. Yumekoshi Academy existed solely to nurture future stars. To someone who had abandoned the industry, staying felt like an insult to everyone else's dreams. And honestly, he had attended classes so rarely that he already felt like a ghost. Asuka's eyes narrowed. How many people were on your staff? He tried to brush it off, but she wasn't having it. Don't play dumb. Supporting 7 top-tier celebrities by yourself? Producing, managing, scheduling. There's no way one person could do all that and still go to school. Atsumu looked at the floor, voice small. I was the only one. Asuka stared, stunned. You're kidding. He gave a helpless shrug. I'm not very good at anything, so work just piled up. She opened her mouth, closed it, then suddenly remembered something. Wait, why are you even here right now? Asuka flushed crimson. Because I'm the chairman's daughter doesn't mean I have to. Sakuya smiled sweetly. She told security to notify her the instant you arrived. MOM. Atsumu couldn't help it. The way Asuka's face went nuclear made him smile for the first time in days. He immediately bowed. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to think you were cute or anything. Asuka wailed, tears of embarrassment gathering. Stop calling me cute. What more do you want from me? Sakuya cleared her throat delicately. One last thing, Atsumu-kun. From now on, your life is yours to choose. So tell me, what do you want to do? He took a shaky breath. All those years he had stolen sleep, skipped meals, missed festivals, dates, everything normal teenagers experienced, just to keep his sisters shining. Now, for the first time, the future was blank. I want to go to a normal high school. I want to study, make friends, maybe even fall in love. I just want an ordinary youth. Sakuya's smile was gentle. I know the perfect place. A week later, Atsumu stepped off the train in a quiet suburban town, suitcase in hand. The chairman had arranged everything, transfer, dormitory, even covering the first month's expenses. He promised himself he would repay every yen through part-time work. For the first time in years, the suffocating weight on his shoulders felt lighter. His reverie was shattered by shouting. Two menacing upperclassmen had cornered a girl against the wall, demanding she stop ignoring them. She stood frozen, tall and beautiful, saying nothing. Something inside Atsumu snapped into focus. Deciding this was no time for hesitation, Atsumu realized there was a girl in trouble and ran towards the scene. With determination in his eyes, he knew he had to help her. Atsumu's protective instincts kick in as he sees a girl in trouble. One of the delinquents glares down, annoyed by the interruption. He firmly grabs the man's wrist to stop him. Without hesitation, Atsumu intervenes, putting himself between the girl and her harassers. The delinquents confront Atsumu, threatening him to back off. Atsumu is initially bewildered by the situation. He questions if his sense of justice is misplaced. But seeing the girl's distress reaffirms his decision to help. He confidently tells her that he will protect her as well. His confident declaration enrages the delinquent. The delinquent lunges forward, shouting threats at Atsumu. Atsumu's expression remains serious and focused. He effortlessly dodges the incoming punch, shocking his opponent. Atsumu grabs the surprised delinquent's arm. In one fluid motion, he throws the man over his shoulder. The delinquent is left completely bewildered by what just happened. The delinquent slams onto the pavement. He lies on the ground, stunned that the throw was painless. Atsumu explains that he used an Aikido wrist-turning throw. While stretching, Atsumu tells the girl it was an Aikido move. He gives them a menacing grin, asking if they want to continue. Terrified, the delinquents make a hasty retreat. Once they're gone, Atsumu lets out a sigh of relief. Atsumu wipes his brow, admitting to himself that he was incredibly nervous. He recalls that he trained tirelessly to protect his sisters, but this was his first real fight in a long time. As idols and celebrities, his sisters were exposed to all sorts of dangers. To protect them, he had mastered several martial arts. He somberly reminds himself that this part of his life is now behind him. The girl hesitantly calls out to Atsumu. As he turns to face her, he is visibly stunned. He realizes that in that moment, he was truly seeing her face for the first time. The girl, flustered and blushing, thanks him for saving her. Atsumu reflects that this was how their fateful meeting began. He learns her name is Tsukiyo Himeji. He realizes with a jolt that he hadn't noticed how beautiful she was, thinking she surpasses even his sisters. He is overwhelmed by how cute she is. In his mind, he compares her to an angel. He feels an immense sense of gladness for having helped her. Tsukiyo overhears him whispering that he truly meant what he said. Tsukiyo tearfully expresses her gratitude, feeling as though he saved her life. Atsumu reasons that she must have been incredibly scared. He pats her on the head to comfort her, telling her not to worry. The action brings back memories of comforting his own sisters. The familiar gesture reminds him of the past. Tsukiyo is left speechless and flustered by his touch. Atsumu panics and apologizes for suddenly patting her head. He is mortified by his own embarrassing actions. In the awkward moment, they both remember they have yet to introduce themselves. Fidgeting nervously, she introduces herself as Himeji Tsukiyo. Atsumu is internally ecstatic, finding her name just as cute as she is. As she asks for his name, he recalls that he was recently kicked out of his family. He tells her his name is Sakagawa Atsumu, explaining it's his dad's surname. His introduction is interrupted by a loud growl from his stomach. Tsukiyo is shocked to hear that he's been surviving on nutrient jelly and worries he'll collapse. Concerned for his well-being, she makes him an offer. Tsukiyo insists that he allow her to repay him for his kindness. A flustered Atsumu accepts her offer. Atsumu Sakagawa, who had spent his life supporting his 7 famous sisters, was suddenly banished by his family on his 18th birthday. Kicked out and penniless, he was fortunate enough to get a transfer to a new school thanks to the chairman's kindness. Though he was supposed to be heading to the dorm, he instead found himself savoring a meal so good it brought tears to his eyes. Atsumu nervously asks if it's really okay for him to be treated to such a feast, and Tsukiyo assures him it is. The meal is a thank you from the beautiful Himeji Tsukiyo, who explains that this is her way of showing her gratitude. Tsukiyo explains that she was so scared earlier, she couldn't move at all. Atsumu tells her that her reaction was understandable, as anyone would be scared in that situation. This meal is her way of thanking him for saving her from harassment by delinquents. Atsumu fidgets, saying he just did what anyone would do and that he should be the one thanking her. Tsukiyo quietly tells him he's wrong, which confuses Atsumu. He wonders if she actually said something or if it was just his imagination. Atsuma thinks to himself that Tsukio is insanely cute and tall, with an aura that is far from ordinary. He overhears other people in the restaurant whispering about how pretty she is, wondering if she's a celebrity. He thinks it's no wonder everyone is so curious about her. He marvels at her incredible beauty as she sips her drink. A waitress approaches, apologizing for the wait. The waitress proudly presents the monthly limited special sweet strawberry parfait. Atsumu is surprised, thinking to himself that Himeji ordered a parfait. He watches as she snaps a photo with her phone. He smiles to himself, finding her girlish and cute reaction endearing. Other patrons whisper about how cute it is that she's eating the limited edition parfait, finding it surprising given her mature appearance. Tsukio blushes under Atsuma's gaze. She quietly asks if it's weird. Atsuma notices her sudden change in mood and, misunderstanding the cause, tells her not to worry about the pictures and to take as many as she wants. Tsukio clarifies that's not what she meant. Tsukio explains that even though people say she looks mature, she likes cute things and finds it embarrassing. Atsuma tells her he thinks it's great. He enthusiastically explains that a girl who is already beautiful and cute, and who also likes cute things, is the ultimate combo. He insists that she has nothing to be embarrassed about. Atsuma's earnest compliment makes Tsukio blush intensely. She looks at her phone, a small, happy smile on her face. She thanks him sincerely. With a newfound confidence, Tsukio admits she really does love cute things. Atsumu agrees enthusiastically. He then compliments her, saying she has a cute voice too, which catches her by surprise. Atsuma thinks for a moment, trying to figure out how to best put his thoughts into words. He tells her that her voice is really similar to a VTuber he likes. Tsukio's quiet reaction makes Atsuma question himself. Wondering if he said something weird, he decides to retreat, telling her he'll go get a drink. Atsuma returns and makes a bad joke about family restaurants not being just for families, and how he thought he'd be arrested since he doesn't have one anymore. He quickly adds that he was genuinely worried, but Tsukio realizes it wasn't a joke. She looks at him with wide, concerned eyes and asks if it's true that he doesn't have a family. Atsuma realizes he said something he shouldn't have. He panics and starts to apologize profusely, thinking it was too personal a topic. Tsukio interrupts, her expression soft with worry, reminding him that he had even mentioned the nutrient jelly thing. Her genuine concern leaves Atsuma blushing and at a loss for words. Atsuma asks if she minds listening to a long story. And so, he decides to tell Tsukio about his former family. He tells her about his mother and sisters. He recounts everything that happened yesterday and all the events leading up to now. After hearing his story, Tsukio begins to cry, and Atsumu immediately starts to regret his decision to tell her. He chides himself, thinking that no matter what, making a girl cry is no good. Tsukio says his story is so sad, but tells him it's okay. Atsumu tries to laugh it off, saying it couldn't be helped because he was useless after all. She recalls his earlier words about who should be thanking whom. Tsukio firmly tells him that it's not true that he's useless. She looks at him earnestly, and says that he helped her. She reminds him of what happened back then. With tears in her eyes and clutching the nutrient jelly packet he'd given her, Tsukio declares with all her heart that to her, he was like a hero. Atsuma blushes furiously, wanting to correct what he said earlier. He feels that telling her about his past was the right choice. Outside the restaurant, they thank each other for the day. Tsukio waves, smiling as she says she hopes they can meet again. After a while, they parted ways. Atsuma reflects on how many unexpected things happened, and wonders what lies ahead. He feels a sense of anticipation for his new school. He continues on his way, still thinking about how cute Tsukio's voice was and wondering if she does voice work. He decides he'll ask her about it if they get the chance to meet again. And that is how he met Himeji-san. This marked the beginning of his ordinary youth. A new post appears, announcing a stream is about to start. An event which he thought would go unnoticed had finally begun. The VTuber greets her audience with her signature catchphrase. The channel belongs to Kagaya Hashizuki, boasting 1.53 million subscribers. She introduces herself as the game streaming princess VTuber, Hashizuki Kagaya. She teases that the details are a secret, but maybe she'll tell them someday. She begins by announcing that something really wonderful happened to her today. She then shifts focus, announcing it's time to get to the main part of the stream. As she enthusiastically starts her game of Winecraft, it is revealed that the person behind Japan's top VTuber is none other than Himeji Tsukiyo. Atsumi still thinks about the night he was banished from his family. He wonders how they felt after kicking him out. He questions if they felt even a little bit sad. He knows it's pointless to dwell on it, but the thoughts keep crossing his mind because they were once his precious family. Meanwhile, at the Amagasaki household, the family celebrates his banishment. Someone exclaims how hilarious the whole event was. The fifth daughter, Matsuki, an idol, laughs about the pathetic look on his face when he was disowned. The second daughter, Futaba, agrees that it was funnier than any prank show. She adds that the best part was that it wasn't even a prank. The fourth daughter, Shiki, a voice actress, laments not having recorded the event. Futaba praises Shiki's idea, saying a recording would surely have gone viral. One of the sisters states that his departure is nothing but a good thing. The third daughter, Mika, a model, dramatically flicks her hair and comments on how much cleaner the air feels now. The others laugh at her comment, remarking that she was really bottling up her feelings. Mika elaborates that the most annoying thing for her was the strict dietary restrictions he enforced, finding his constant nitpicking extremely unpleasant. Shiki enthusiastically agrees and is prompted to share her own grievance next. For Shiki, it was the ban on spicy food. Now she's free to order all the extreme spicy hell yakisoba she wants. Hearing this, Matsuki gets fired up, declaring it's her turn next. Matsuki's biggest complaint was the selfie posting restrictions, as every picture had to go through him first. He made her retake every picture over and over, which infuriated her. She exclaims that she looks good in any photo she takes. Futaba and Shiki chime in with their support. Futaba complains that as a multi-talented celebrity, she wasn't even allowed to use social media, but she dismisses it now. She then calls out the three quieter sisters, demanding they share their stories. The first daughter, Io, an actress, reveals that he restricted which roles she could take, even turning down an offer from a famous director. The other sisters are shocked by this revelation. They are outraged on her behalf, exclaiming that she could have been in Hollywood by now. Shiki then turns the attention to Nana, asking about her grievances. The sixth daughter, Nana, a singer, claims she doesn't really care, as her only true supporter is the mysterious Vocaloid producer, 5san. The others admit his latest song was a huge hit and a perfect match for her voice. Nana whispers that just getting to sing his songs is enough for her to live on. Finally, they turn to the seventh daughter, Yuichiro. Clenching her teddy bear, Yuichiro angrily declares that she never wants him to come back, solidifying that all the sisters felt they suffered because of him. Their mother, Amana, the CEO of the talent agency, addresses her daughters. She acknowledges that until now, all of their talents have been restricted. With a smirk, she states that the obstacle is finally gone. Amana encourages them to unleash their talents as they please from now on.